Hey everybody, it's Dr. Chacos with the Arthritis Solution, and today we're going to be talking about understanding osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And these are the two most common forms of arthritic or degenerative conditions, with osteoarthritis by far being the most common throughout the world. So I'm going to firstly talk about osteoarthritis and what that basically is. We've given definitions in previous videos. Go back, watch the whole series. I think it's a great eye-opening opportunity for people to talk through this whole process of arthritis, which I intend to do through this series. Arthritis means joint inflammation, and osteoarthritis is bone inflammation. So osteo and being bone, arthritis being joint inflammation. We've given that definition, so we've got both the bone and the joint being inflamed. And so when we see osteoarthritis, invariably, we've got the normal here, and we start to see bone changes, and most importantly, the joints here. These joints at the back are called facet joints. Okay, so these move and allow us to basically the structure of the spine. So when these joints become inflamed from too much wear, too much trauma, too many forces being impacted on them, and if the disc is damaged, there's extra load, then the bone starts to change shape, it changes function, and that's osteoarthritis. So it normally comes from traumas. So if you have fall, bumps, spill, accidents, if you lift things that are too heavy and the discs become damaged and you wear down those joints, or you sit at a desk for a prolonged period of time and all of the head weight onto the shoulders and the tension on the spine, this for long periods of time, where you've had whiplash injuries, and all of those accumulated traumas and the injury can lead to the inflammation and the damage associated with osteoarthritis. So we see it very commonly in not just sports people that may have these big impact traumas, but people who have desk work for a prolonged period of time, and they said that slumped posture like that accelerates the load on the joints and puts pressure on the discs and leads to joint arthritic and degenerative changes, and the bone starts to alter its shape because of that functional alteration. So osteoarthritis, usually a structural phenomena. It can of course be compounded by things such as diet and nutrition. If you eat a pro-inflammatory or a pro-arthritic or an acidic diet, you can promote more inflammation within the joints and within the bone. Obviously, you can do the opposite by having an anti-inflammatory diet, an alkalizing diet, an anti-arthritic diet, and if you have lots of stress, you produce lots of inflammation in the body as well. So osteoarthritis is impacted by mostly trauma, but certainly by the physical and chemical and emotional factors as well. Rheumatoid arthritis, on the other hand, is considered an autoimmune process, and while I don't subscribe to that model 100%, what we see with rheumatoid arthritis is it is an internal inflammatory process governed by uncontrolled immune system responses. So what I mean by that is when we have rheumatoid linked to rheumatism, which is involved with heart and joints, and it's normally osteo being a spinal part, but rheumatism, you see it in the hands, but it's not localized to the hands. You can get it in the spine and other joints of the body, but you see the deformity happening when you've seen those, maybe it's in your grandmother's, you've seen knobs on the fingers here, and again, their x-rays are going to show really advanced bony changes in the neck and spine as well. But with rheumatoid arthritis, it's an uncontrolled inflammatory response within the body, particularly linked to the immune system going, well, this is a foreign particle, being your bone, I'm going to attack it, and it erodes the bone and it eats that bone away in that uncontrolled and unregulated way. And in that regard, that's why they call it autoimmune. And there's a lot of interesting science around, well, what causes this? Could it be a bacteria? Could it be a wayward immune system? There's a whole series of theories beyond the scope of today to talk about. But suffice to say, rheumatoid arthritis is an inflammatory condition and is diagnosed principally when we see blood test changes with x-ray changes, with observational changes of either the hand or the spine moving and functioning and having a different structure. It's a pretty unrelenting condition, the rheumatoid arthritis. You really do need to address diet and nutrition. You need supplements to alter the inflammation physiology level, And you also need to do the structural and functional work like stretching and strengthening and conditioning to support the body and limit the stresses. So because it has both the immunity and the inflammation uncontrolled, you need to put practices and processes in play to ensure that all of that is addressed. But they're very different conditions with very different causes. One of the causes that I really see a lot with rheumatoid is not only diet and nutrition, but stress levels that have happened in people's lives. And those stresses could have been both physical traumas, but oftentimes emotional traumas and even toxic traumas within their body. And a depleted and weakened immune system over time can lead to a likelihood of rheumatoid expressing itself in the body. So very different forms of arthritis, but important for you to be able to, one, know what they are, the distinctions between them, but also uncover how you can diagnose more accurately, hence the use of blood tests, x-rays, and observable findings. So if you've got any questions on that, also put the comments below. We'd love to be able to help you uncover if you have one of those different forms of arthritis, and then what you can do to make sure you maintain your health and your mobility. And one last thing on rheumatoid, it can affect the emotional state of people so much, so ensure you get the support that you need. You do not want to be debilitated because of your arthritic condition, and you do not want to feel like there's a sense of despair that nothing can be done. Things can be done. Healing can result, and the opportunity is there once we know and uncover why it's happening, what exactly is happening, so that we can determine the path forward. So let us know if we can help you. Comment below. We'll do what we can to get back to you. Thank you.